This situation is a hypothetical, but let's just say your neighbor struck oil and now they need to go below the surface to remove the rest of the oil. Better be careful. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, Cyberland? Coming back to you with another real estate educational video, and this time we're going to talk about subjacent support. So as I said in my intro, had a situation where your neighbor struck oil. This is a hypothetical story, but let's just go along with it. They struck oil and now they have to remove the oil from under the ground to, do whatever they want with it. Well, in the course of them doing that, they come across that as they're digging to remove the oil, they unfortunately do some damage to your land when they're doing this digging. And unfortunately, your land now has some problems because of it. Well, it's nice that they wanted to do all that digging, but now there could be a litigation, there could be a lawsuit. They might have to just stop. Because what they're doing to their land, removing the oil, removing the minerals from the soil, is now affecting your land. So there has to be something in place to make sure that doesn't occur. And since I did bring up its oil, what if some of that oil is actually part of your land? That's another thing. That could be tricky too. That oil is not officially all theirs. It might be some of yours too. Just saying. That's a fixture. That's part of real property because it's part of your property. It's part of theirs. So they have a right to this amount of oil. You have a right to this amount of oil. There's also that to consider. But the point being is subjacent support means that when somebody has to do work on their land or they have to dig for whatever they're doing, whether that could be, they may not be oil, they could be installing what are those giant things called? Oh my goodness. A sub tank. It's a tank. I forget the name of it right now. Oh my goodness. Well, it's a tank that you don't have the right plumbing, a sewage. So you have these tanks installed in your backyard and that collects all, and then you have to have them chained. A septic tank. You have a septic tank installed, and in them doing so, they had to dig, and they're affecting your soil, your land doing that. Again, just like lateral support, subjacent support is the same thing. They can't do that if it's affecting your land. They can't dig under the land, and at some point your land starts to cave in because of that, because they went under removing minerals and resources from under the ground, and that affected your land of some sort. So again, tricky situation. Even with that, when those things are being done and you have contractors doing it, you need to make sure you're doing this stuff legally. Otherwise, if it comes back later that it's not, you is in trouble. It's found out, because I'm pretty sure this situation was implemented because somebody had done this a couple times back in the day. I would say at least the 20th century of some sort. Something to consider. But that also, as I'm stating that, those things apply to the other person. The flip side of the coin is that applies to you too. If you're doing the same thing in your backyard, or if you're digging under your soil, going really under the ground, you have to be cautious about what damage you're doing too. You can't just do things if it affects the neighbors, affects their land, their property. Got to be cautious with that too. So it's not just rules for thee, but not for me kind of thing. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.